Wish you a very good morning to all. So we are in chapter 4, structure of the atom. In our previous video presentations, we have seen some of the discoveries of the electron and the proton, that was cathode rays and anode rays related to this topics. In this video, we will discuss about the different atomic models, structure of the atom, discovery of the neutron, and some related topics. So when we talk about the atomic particles, so electrons, as we know that it was discovered in the cathode ray experiment by Sir J.J. Thomson in 1897, and term electron was coined by G.J. Stoney, and proton were discovered in the anode ray experiment, and the anode ray are also called the positive ray or the canal rays. The proton was discovered by Wilhelm Wien in 1902, and it was identified by J.J. Thomson. And the neutron was discovered by James Chadwick in 1932. So this is some brief introduction about the electron, proton and neutrons. So you have to remember, because it can be asked in MCQ, who coined the term electron. So that is G.J. Stoney. Then for the proton, it was discovered in Wilhelm Wien, and neutron was discovered by James Chadwick. Then atomic models, as we have discussed in our previous video presentation, the various models of atoms, in that the Thomson model or the water-Manel model or plum pudding model also we have discussed, and for that I have given some video presentation in that you might have seen. So according to this model, electrons are embedded in the positively charged mass distributed uniformly throughout the atomic sphere. And this model was proposed by Joseph James Thomson, that is J.J. Thomson, in 1897. And this model is also known as the apple pie model. So here different names are there for the J.J. Thomson model, or it is a watermelon model or plum pudding model. Even it can be named as apple pie model also. Then we have discussed about the Rutherford's model or the planetary model. It's a Rutherford model is based on the experiments conducted by the Rutherford. This model was given by Ernest Rutherford in 1911. According to this model, all the positively charged particles are present in a small place. It is in a small space in the center of the atom, and this is mainly of, we can consider, that is nucleus. Electrons revolve around the nucleus just as the planets revolve around the sun. So that is why the Rutherford model is also considered as the planetary model, because at the center in nucleus and surrounded they are revolving electrons like revolve around the sun like that. So that is why the Rutherford model also named as planetary model. Due to this similarity, the Rutherford's model is called the planetary model or the solar model. So electrons we can named as negatively charged, revolve around the nucleus in orbit with a high speed to overcome the electrostatic force of the attraction between positively charged particles which are present in the nucleus. So in the nucleus, two charges are there: positively charged protons and neutral charge, that is neutron, that we will discuss later on. Some drawbacks of the Rutherford models In that, two deficiencies of this model are: one, it is possible to have infinite number of orbits. In practice, it is not the case. The moving electron must continuously lose energy and fall into nucleus. Actually, it is not the case. So these are some drawbacks of the Rutherford model. Now, when we discuss about the next model, that is very much important model, that is a Bohr atomic model. So this model was given by the Niels Bohr in 1913. According to this model, the order to overcome the shortcomings of the Rutherford model, and he gave the concept of orbits, discrete states or energy levels. So in this model, an atom consists of heavy positively charged nucleus, and the whole mass of the atom is concentrated in the nucleus. So that is why all the balance activities, when we talk about the nucleus, it's a center and it is concentrated. So all the activities, all the process which is balancing, that is carried out by the nucleus, whether positively charged, negatively charged, all the orbits, all things which are managed by the nucleus. In our brain also like that. So we can say brain is a control center, like that. The same thing, nucleus is a control and the concentrated part of this model. So the electrons in an atom revolve around nucleus in a definite circular paths called orbits or the energy levels. So when you open your textbook, page number 150 and 151, one model you will get, that is energy levels in the Bohr's atomic model. That is circular, all the cell, all the levels, all the orbits are there. Each energy level is associated with definite amount of energy. And the charge in energy take place when the electron jumps from one energy level to the another energy level. So in this model, in this energy level, there are 4 orbits, K, L, M, N. So arrangement of electrons in an atom, the arrangement of electrons in various cells that we consider as the energy levels of an atom of the element is known as the electronic configuration. So it is named as electronic configuration. So various cells in a energy levels are arranged in a specific way. So that is called electronic configuration. The maximum number of electrons that could be put in a particular cell. So energy levels was given by the Bohr and Bury. According to the Bohr and Bury scheme, the maximum number of electrons that can be accommodated in any energy level is given by 2n square, where 11 is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4. For that, we can consider that the cell, the orbit name KLMN, KLMN, and the maximum number of electrons in the outermost orbit will be 8 electrons, even if it has capacity to accommodate more electrons. So in that it has capability, it has capacity, so that is 2, 8, like that. So all the electrons in the particular orbits, first orbit 2 electrons, second orbit 8 electrons, third orbit again 8 electron, then 18, then 32, like that. So this is a electron configuration. So in the particular orbit, all the electrons are accommodated according to the energy level. So electrons are not accommodated in a given cell unless earlier cells are filled, that is stepwise filling of the cell is followed. So it means that once in a first orbit, like a K cell, If two electrons are engaged, so then remaining electrons will be accommodated in the L cell. Then after filling up 8 electrons in the L cell, then it transfer to the M, and it go to the near N. So like that it will follow. So this is about the Bohr's atomic model. Now when we go to the textbook of NCERT, we will see how it. So all my dear students, I am giving some additional informations related to this structure of the atom, and I am correlating our textbook with the NCERT textbook, even some additional informations. So in our NCERT textbook, the Bohr's model of an atom. So in order to overcome the objections based against the Rutherford model of an atom, the Niels Bohr put forward the following postulates about the model of an atom. So only certain spatial orbits known as discrete orbits of electrons are allowed inside the atom. And second, while revolving in discrete orbits, the electrons do not radiate energy. So that was some postulates given by the Niels Bohr. So some history related to this great scientist. So this orbit or the cell are called energy levels. The energy levels in the atoms you can see here. When in exam this type of question can be asked, if it will be asked, you have to draw this diagram with all the cells. In that you have to mention K cell, L cell, M cell, and N cell. So in that particular, the number of electrons in that cell number N1, N2, N3, N4, and the electrons filling in K cell 2 electrons, L 8, M 8, and remaining it's 18 like that. So particular the remaining cells or orbit can be accommodated. So here the few energy levels in the atoms. This orbit or the cells are represented by the letters K, L, M, N, and so on, and the numbers which can give as a 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. So these are. So here also we can say that the model of this Bohr is very crucial, and when we discuss about the limitations of the Bohr atomic model, so there were some limitations also. So in that it is not mentioned, but I want to tell you from your chemistry today textbook, it is there on page number 151, the limitations of the Bohr atomic model. So first limitation, when we talk about the Bohr atomic model, he gave a two-dimensional picture, but now it has been confirmed that the atoms are three-dimensional and they are spherical. Then another limitation, he did not have any idea about the shape of the molecules and how are molecules formed. And third limitation, he gave the concept of well-defined orbit, but on the basis of the latest atomic theory, it is only the probability of finding the electrons in a particular space. And the Bohr model of an atom was improved by Sommerfeld. He will study the Sommerfeld correction and quantum mechanical model of an atom in higher classes. So that also you will be studying when you go in a further standard like 11 and 12. So that time also you will study. So this is about the Bohr model of an atom, and related video you can search on YouTube. You will get the different videos related to the different